Hey guys, we'll get started on our first lesson on polynomials. We're just going to discuss some basics of polynomials that you should have learned in Algebra 1, adding, subtracting, and multiplying. So we'll do 5 examples. The first 3 I'll walk you through adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Turn off the video, try the last 2, then watch the video and see how you did, and then try the assignment. So this first example is number 27 from page 88. And when you have an adding question, first of all, when a lot of people see 2 sets of parentheses, they think that they're supposed to distribute. It's really important to look at the sign in the middle. When you're adding, you just simply have to find like terms and combine like terms. So 19x squared and negative 12x squared, these are alike. That combines to give you 7x squared. 12x, and there's no other like terms for 12x, so we'll just write that down. 5, negative 23, and 10 are all alike. 5 and negative 23 is negative 18, and 10 is negative 8. And it's a good idea to write your final answer in standard form, which this is, from highest exponent to lowest exponent. Since we can't combine these 3, it's our final answer. You cannot combine terms unless the endings are exactly the same. So even though this is x squared and this is x, they're different, so you can't combine them. Let's try number 32. 32 is a subtraction question. It says 21x to the 5th plus 5x minus 17. All of that minus 12x plus 6x squared, 16x squared, minus 4x to the 4th, minus 11 plus 22x to the 5th. So, again, even though you have 2 sets of parentheses, you are not distributing. A lot of people try to do the subtraction in their heads. Don't do that. You want to distribute this negative, like there's a negative 1 here, into this last polynomial. So that means it's going to change to an addition. Some people call this stay, change. So I'm going to change this to adding. Negative 1 times 12x is negative 12x. Negative 1 times 16x squared is negative 16x squared. Then positive 4x to the 4th, positive 11, and then negative 22x to the 5th. This first polynomial stays the same. And then now we have an addition question like up above. So we're going to add like terms. 21x to the 5th and negative 22x to the 5th is negative 1x to the 5th. Let's see, 5x, so those we combine. 5x and negative 12x is negative 7x. Negative 17 and 11 is negative 6. It helps to do the underlining thing because now I could see that these 2 terms are left, and they're left because there was no like terms to combine with the other one. So if we put this in standard form, then negative 1x to the 5th is the first term, then plus 4x to the 4th, negative 16x squared, negative 7x, and negative 6. And now finally, let's do a multiplication one. This question's over on page 89. This question is number 43. Number 43 says you have negative 5x squared minus 1 times negative 6x squared plus 8x minus 3. So I'm going to distribute negative 5x squared into the second set of parentheses. There's 2 ways of doing it. You could do it horizontally like you see here. This is 30x to the fourth. Now remember, you multiply coefficients and add exponents. So negative 5 times negative 6 is 30. 2 plus 2 is 4. Negative 5x squared times 8x is negative 40. X cubed. Then positive 15x squared. And then positive, well, now we'll distribute. Maybe I'll use a different color to have this stand out. Now we'll distribute this negative 1 to these three terms. Negative 1 times negative 6x squared is positive 6x squared. Negative 1 times 8x is negative 8x. And negative 1 times negative 3 is 3. Now, I don't know if you can notice this in the video. It's very subtle, but I should have been a little neater. My circle around this first term and this minus sign is making this one look like a plus. So you got to be very careful because that's an easy way to make a mistake. Now, after you do your distributive property, you look around for any like terms. And actually, there's not. And, oh, actually, there is. These two middle terms can be combined. So this would be 21x squared. We have this negative 8x and this 3. 30x to the fourth minus 40x cubed. Now, I'm going to do two more questions. If I were you, I would turn off the video, pause it, try the two questions, and turn it back on and see how you did. They're going to be 34 and 53. So turn off the video and try 34 and 53. And then turn it back on and watch my explanation. We'll see if we both come up with the same answer. All right, let's see. 34 is back over on page 88. 34 says you have negative 10x to the fourth minus 19x squared plus 8x plus 15x cubed plus 3 minus negative 6x squared minus 20x cubed plus 23 plus 6x squared. Wow. So this is a subtraction one. So I'm going to distribute this negative 1 into these four terms. So we'll get 6x squared plus 20x cubed plus, minus 23 and minus 6x squared. Okay, and then we'll just drop down this first polynomial. And you can actually, if you want, drop the parentheses, so because we're just going to combine any of these terms that we can. Let's see, negative 10x to the fourth, no other x to the fourth. Negative 19x squared, here's a bunch of x squared terms, those cancel, so negative 19x squared. 8x, no other x terms. 15x cubed and 20x cubed is 35x cubed. And then finally, I guess I should underline these 5 times. 3 and negative 23 is negative 20. And then in standard form, this would be negative 10x to the fourth plus 35x cubed minus 19x squared plus 8x minus 20. Let's see if I got the right answer here. Yep, looks good. And then the last one, question 53, is a multiplication one. So we have negative 4 times negative 4x plus 7 times x plus 1. Now, I would just distribute this negative 4 into this first parentheses. And you have 16x minus 28 times x plus 1. Now, we definitely can do the double distributive that we did up above, but another cool technique that a lot of kids use is called the box method. You take your first polynomial, 16x minus 28, and you split it up on one side of the box. You take your other polynomial, positive x and positive 1, you split it up on the other side of the box. And then you make this grid, and it helps students stay organized, and they could see whenever two terms intersect, they should multiply. 16x times x is 16x squared, 16x times 1 is 16x, negative 28 times x is negative 28x, and negative 28 times 1 is negative 28. Now you look around in terms of these four boxes, what you can combine. 16x squared has no other x squared terms. These two terms can be combined to negative 12x, and negative 28 is the only constant. So please let me know if you have any questions. Attend the Google Meet also if you have questions, and have a great day.